Key West is famous for its gypsy chickens, island dogs, and lazy cats. But the days may be numbered for a beloved colony of alley cats on Caroline Street. The owner of a new business in the alley has asked the Florida Keys SPCA to have all the cats removed. We met with Martine Koska. She's the colony's guardian angel. Martine told us she was distressed to learn of the SPCA's plans for these cats.
Most frustrating call in the world. Yes, they've said they'd put most of them down because we don't have the space and we can't keep cats that are not pet quality.
Look at that.
And I'm worried about all these cats that I love now.
Yet when Blue Paper reporter Amber Nolan went to the shelter this week, she was told by volunteers that the shelter does not put down healthy animals.
They're forever homes.
Promotional ads used by the SPCA were also very reassuring.
We take in all animals that need our help and love and care for them no matter how long it takes to find their own loving homes.
So what is the truth? Well, under Florida law, animal shelters must keep records for any animals they kill. This week, we obtained a copy of that list. 844 animals were put down in the past 2 years at SPCA shelters. Not all were merciful euthanasia. Among dogs, many of the victims are listed as not dangerous. Some dogs are put down for suffering from such things as kennel stress, like a newborn puppy named Bubba. Other dogs are put down based on unexplained policy decisions, like 2-year-old Bronco. But most are cats. 3-month-old Flip was put down for behavior. Arizona and her 2-month-old kittens Tempe, Tucson, and Phoenix were put down for policy decision. The same fate for newborn kitten Gia. Poor Pineapple was put down because she was fearful. In addition, 137 feral cats were put down over the past 2 years. Zoom and Boom were 5 months old. 1-year-old Lizzie was put down along with her 3 kittens, Dizzy, Tizzy, and Fizzy. Merlin, Camilla, Perla, and Avina were 1 month old. The list goes on.
Yeah, these cats are doomed, basically, if they don't stay there now. I'm realizing that. I have these kitties. I don't have homes. I'm like, they didn't say kill to me. They have to put them down, which is the same thing. Both Tammy and Matt on that Friday. That's why I was so frustrated on that Friday.
The Florida Keys SPCA collected over $8 million to build a state-of-the-art shelter. The largest donation, $1.3 million, came from the Harold and Judy McConley Family Foundation. But the foundation promotes no-kill shelters. We asked Patty McConley how she felt about the way SPCA is handling feral cats.
Right. Wow. That's pretty discouraging. That's really disgusting that that's happening. I was, like I said, we were not aware of that at all.
All right. Well, I can share with you.
My mother-in-law would be turning in her grave if she knew this. Believe me.
Okay.
That was never her intent was to ever be affiliated with something that was a kill shelter. I don't think we would be giving money to someone who's euthanizing feral cats. Mm-hmm. That I can guarantee will not happen.
Okay. All right. So I will get you what I.
Quote me on that.
Martine doesn't agree that feral cats are unadoptable. She invited us to see for ourselves. Almost all of Martine's cats were once alley cats.
Pregnant female cat. Totally feral, nothing like these cats on Caroline Street. And 3 days later, because I'm telling the truth, these are not perfect little kitties that are going to sit in your lap when you get home. These are projects, so you have to go to people that go, I want to help this cat, and I don't care if it doesn't let me pet it for 6 months. Do you know what I'm saying?
So she used to be a feral cat.
Mom, Sarah, look here, sweetie girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at there. So, yeah. He's got the most personality in the house. Patient persistence. I read every blog on it. Where do y'all live?
We live in the Meadow. We did find a few more residents who were willing to adopt feral cats.
Jeepers and Creepers.
However, Patty McConley was skeptical. She told us the community cannot adopt its way out of a feral cat
Key
problem.
West feral cats, right?
The solution for a no-kill shelter is called TNR, Trap, Neuter,
It would
Release.
take a lot for them to be adopted.
This is Gwen Hottop. Gwen runs Spay, Neuter in Paradise, SNP, a successful TNR
So-
service in the Lower Keys.
When you get everybody fixed, you watch the populations drop precipitously. But it's got to be an active, ongoing thing. If you stop your clinic, if you quit your trapping, then you watch it come back. If you had a very active TNR volunteer crew, if you had all these things in place, you could start making that promise to your community that you could hold animals for as long as it took, because you would have fewer animals to hold for as long as it took. Okay? But as long as you sit back in your office and close the door, you are doing no kill in parentheses for adoptable animals.
Right.
And then you get to qualify or hedge on what adoptable. They don't have an active TNR.
The SPCA refused to be interviewed for this story. Obviously, one of our questions would have been, why did you accept $1.3 million from TNR no-kill champions if you were going to keep killing healthy cats? What we learned is that SPCA is not only collecting donations from animal lovers, it also signed contracts with the county for over $780,000 a year to enforce local animal control ordinances. And that code, in many ways, conflicts with the ideal of a no-kill shelter. It allows healthy animals to be destroyed within 5 days if not claimed, or just 3 days for feral cats. It also strictly prohibits the release of animals onto public property. In other words, the SPCA cannot complete the release part of TNR without breaking the law it's being paid to enforce. Out of the county contract funding, nearly $750,000 goes to salaries and benefits. The organization's executive director receives over $108,000 a year.
See why I'm paranoid about this?
In the past, SPCA has actively supported TNR by releasing feral cats through volunteers called colony managers.
And these cat ladies and people who identify as cat ladies, they look after the colonies. It's a labor of love. It's a passion. You want to get those kittens off the street and adopted. And you want to take care of the older cats, get them spayed and neutered, vaccinated, and take care of that colony. And it's really a passion.
But several of those managers claim that SPCA has now turned against them.
A symbiotic relationship where you were appreciated, you were going there, they were helping, they were in on what you were doing.
And we could take
in what way were they?
we could get as many slots as we needed, and then it got less and less and less.
In terms of getting them neutered,
getting them into the clinics.
And then it got to where they wouldn't even call us when the clinics were going to be. They still don't notify us when the clinics are. So we don't know.
We bug them. We basically have to bug them.
They used to call us up and say, hey, we're having a clinic. How many can you bring, or how many spaces do you need?
Yeah, they would.
There was one time, Richard and me and Annie, we got 30 cats in less than 48 hours. Everything was going wonderful. They gave us trap. They gave us umpteen bags of kitten chow. All of a sudden in May, everything started changing.
And they got really hostile.
With this for 20 years. You know, just constantly, I went methodically, street by street, trapping cats. I would say I got easily 1,000 cats. Spayed and neutered.
So these are all papers on spay neuters.
And what
And this
period of
isn't
time
even
is
all of
A
them.
year.
So this is like the past year, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
what, maybe
Okay.
It's the
100
past
or
year and a
so?
half.
Apparently,
Yeah,
the
and that's only
TNR
half of
ladies
them.
were doing a great job at population
about half
control.
of them in the past year.
Yet the SPCA doesn't seem to be supporting the TNR network.
End of an era. I used to have all of these. I used to have all of these filled with rescues. I was told that the shelter does not want me to do rescue work.
How many of you have been hauled into court?
Jan and us.
Civil court.
And how much
Twice.
did that cost you monetarily?
They brought Linda and Richard into court, where they were ordered to stop feeding the colony of cats they've managed in their neighborhood for years.
Out for them, then most likely they'll starve or they'll end up in dumpsters.
They'll be digging through
Foraging.
people's trash, right?
They'll be
Exactly.
digging in
Oh, yeah.
other people's trash, which we saw some doing the other night.
And they're going to reproduce out of control.
At Linda and Richard Hensley's trial, the judge heard testimony from neighbors exasperated with 3 roaming cats tearing up garbage bags, jumping out of pickup trucks like devils out of a box, and pooping in the grass where children are playing. But the group was convinced that the solution is more TNR, not less.
So do you feel like their solution is round them up and euthanize them? Kill them?
Yeah.
Now, it is not prevention of cruelty, letting cats starve. And meanwhile, this is going on. We have colonies that are breeding now downtown. But this is a fiasco. The shelter was built with community support. And probably 9 out of 10 people think that the shelter is no kill. And it's not that way.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, but who's going to want to do this? Yeah. I'm getting sued out my butt and dragged into court and harassed.
Linda's neighbors believe she and Richard are still feeding the cats. They're due back in court facing contempt charges. The SPCA claims it will try to have the Caroline Street cats adopted. Martine says she's now found homes for 13 of the cats in her Caroline Street colony, but that she's being stonewalled by the SPCA. She was ordered out of the shelter under threat of arrest after employees refused to let her see the cats they had trapped.